All right. Welcome everybody. It's iBugs Live for Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. Had to check on that one for a moment. We're so glad that you are here and that you are going to learn all about how to prepare the holiday meal. And an interesting bit of trivia. This meeting or event was actually supposed to have another name. Does anybody know what that other name was?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, we learned that the original name was Give Them the Bird. Oh dear. Well, wonder why it didn't make it. But anyway, wasn't my idea. Okay, anyway. All right, all in good fun. We are going to go around and I'll quickly make some announcements, first of all. Tomorrow we have the iBug Trekkie Talk, and that is from 7 to 8:30. And all events are on this same Zoom conference line, and everything is Central Time. Central Time, so calculate your own time because I don't do math. Okay, so tomorrow is Trekkie Talk, and we're going to be doing Voyager Season 3, Episodes 3 and 4. Then we have I'm Looking at the Virtual Movies on Friday, and there we will be watching The Holly and the Ivy from 1952. 1952,
Wow.
and it's a British classic movie. So please come and let us know what you think of that movie. And then we have, right before the movie, we have a discussion. Oh, no discussion. Sorry. We have Name That Tune, and then we'll have some bad jokes and just hang out with us for a little while. Then after the movie, we'll have a discussion and trivia. Then there's more. Saturday. What is happening on Saturday? Yes, there's an event on Saturday it's the first Saturday of the month, and it's called iBug Unplugged. And it is, this month, it's called, the title of our event that day is A Partridge in a Pear Tree. Now, you know what? I don't know who comes up with these things, but it is not me, but it's a cute title. So we're going to be talking about the art of gift giving, or maybe not the art, but sharing your favorite gifts that you've received or given. So it's sometimes more fun to give than to receive. So come with your memories and stories and come and share with our iBug family on Saturday at 7 p.m. And if you want to know more about iBug, you can go to our website, ibugtoday.org, ibugtoday.org. All right, so that's where you go. You can subscribe to our email distribution list. You go to iBug Today under Get Involved, and then there's a section where you can get on our mailing list. And then you will get all these announcements in your handy dandy. I love the word handy dandy. It's going to be in your handy dandy mailbox. Okay. All right. I think that is it. Oh, you can also listen to our other training events on YouTube or on our website or your favorite podcasting app. Okay, now we're going to go around and we're going to say who you are, where you're from, and we have our general rules. Don't use the hand raise feature. Try to stay on mute if you're not speaking. We want to have it nice and open, but we have to minimize background noise, so try to be respectful of that. Okay, now I'm going to go around and say who you are, where you're from, and we are going to say, given our topic is turkey, we're going to talk about whether you like dark meat or white meat. All right? Hopefully that is not politically incorrect. All right, who would like to get us started? Okay, I'll get started. This is
Mm.
Sonia from Houston, and I like dark meat. All right, who would like to go next?
Louise, Georgia, white meat.
All right, welcome, Louise. Thank you.
Mhm.
Mary Alice, Pennsylvania, white meat.
All right, thank
Hey.
you.
This is Jake from Michigan, and I guess, to be honest, I find it a little bit hard to tell, but I don't know, the drumsticks I had were pretty good.
All right, good. Thank you. And I heard you got four of them. Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh,
I did.
yeah, see, we do
Yeah, four.
listen on this call. Okay. All right.
Pat,
Thank you. Go ahead, Pat.
this is Pat from
Uh-huh.
Ohio, and I like the white meat.
Oh,
And this is my first time on iBug Live.
wow. Yeah, that's cool. We're glad
It's
you're
We
here.
changed the night so
Yeah,
I
we
could
my
changed
come.
the night just for you, Pat. We changed the
Thank
night.
you.
Yeah. All
it's my
right. Well,
first time too on the iBug Live.
glad. Okay. All right. Glad you're here, Mary Alice. All right. So good. Good. Anybody else?
This
Who do
is
you want?
Dale from Ohio, and I like white meat as well.
All right. Thank you, Dale. Good job. Okay. Who else?
Donald, I like dark meat. Donald from Oklahoma City.
Donald from Oklahoma City, back from out of the cold. All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Donald was one of our regulars for like about 10 years ago, so he came back. So we're happy. All right, who else?
This is Sean from Flushing. I'm not partial to either one.
Not partial, he's impartial. Okay, thank you. He'll eat any turkey, doesn't matter. Okay, keep going. Who else?
Vegan.
Uh-huh. And
Oh, I like white.
white meat. Okay. All right, anybody else?
This is Dan from Southern California, dark meat.
All right, thank you, Dan. Thank you,
Cindy from
Dan.
Chicago,
All right.
white meat.
Who else?
Cindy from Chicago, white meat.
Okay, thank you, Cindy. All right, who else?
Dana, cold Cincinnati, white meat.
All right, thank you. Okay, who else?
Cynthia from Texas, white meat.
All right, thank you. Go ahead. Who else? Anybody else?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Nicole, and I have one of my students with me, so we're listening live. His name is Tony Reyes, and we're both from Santa Rosa, California. And Tony, what do you like? Dark meat, dark and white meat. Tony likes, and I like dark meat.
All right. Nicole, how did you hear about iBug?
So I just finished taking an iBug Mac training class with
Oh, yeah.
Chanel and Herbie, and I liked it so much, so I wanted to come and see what it was all about.
Oh, well, cool. Well, thank you, and thank you for inviting Tony. Thank you. We're glad you're here, and we hope to see you at more events. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. We're still going around right now. If you joined us late, who you are, where you're from, and do you prefer dark meat or white meat on a turkey? We're being clear.
Janice Samuel from Maryland.
Hello,
Both.
Janice.
Hi, Sonia.
Hello. Don't make trouble. What do you
Uh,
like?
well, I'm saying both because I like wings and not drumsticks, but I like the light meat of breast. So
Oh
both.
my goodness, so
I know it's
complicated.
complicated. It's
So
complicated.
complicated. Okay, that's what I expected. All right, thank you, Janice. Anybody else with a less complicated answer?
Valencia from Maryland, but
Hey, Valencia.
I'm not less complicated. I'll say both, but it depends on my mood.
Oh boy. Okay, another one. All right, thank you, Valencia. Anybody else? All right, well, we will check on anybody who's joined us at a later time at the midpoint. All right, now, enough of all this. We are so glad you came, and we hope that everybody had a happy holiday, Thanksgiving, And all right. Okay, so now we're going to turn it over to our facilitator for the evening is George Battiste, and he will take it over. George, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Yay, there's George. Okay, go for it.
Okay. As I was listening to our folks were discussing which meat they like, with exception for the person who is from Georgia, look like everybody who is either from up north or cold climate areas prefer the white meat, and everybody from down south like the dark meat. Don't know if that was by design, but I just thought it was just interesting that I noticed there's a significant difference. Those who are from warm or from the south, like Southern California, of course, Texas, and um, I don't know if Oklahoma is South or Midwest, but anyway, I just noticed that most of the places that are cold climate they prefer that. So don't try to make any sense. It was just something I thought about. I'm one of those who sit and try to listen for the unusual trend, if that is a trend. This is George. I am in Houston, and what if I like dark meat or white meat? I like ham. No, I'm kidding. I do prefer the dark meat. I do like ham, but if it comes to turkey, I probably would prefer. Well, you know what? Now I'm complicated because, like the one lady, and I apologize for forgetting your name. I do like dark meat, which means I like the drumstick, but I also like the wing of the turkey as well. And I think the wing is considered white meat. So I don't know. I like meat. So let's leave it at that. So today, yes, we're going to, since we're in between like major holidays, where some of you have turkey for Thanksgiving and some of you also may have turkey for Christmas. I mean, the song by Nat King Cole says a turkey and some mistletoe. So turkey could be served around Christmas time. So I'm going to be discussing how to prepare it, how to prep it, how to cook it. And I may along the way include throwing as to how I would prepare a couple of my favorite sides. As tradition, when I do this presentation, which normally will take place on a Thursday, but because the fourth Thursday last month was on Thanksgiving Day, we didn't have it. So we doing it this particular time. Or, no, I take that back. The fourth Thursday, well, doesn't matter. They both would not have worked. Whether it was this month or last month, it was going to be on the fourth Thursday where we normally have it's iBUGs Life, whatever month we do it. But both of these last 2 months happen to fall on a fourth Thursday. Even Christmas is going to be on a fourth Thursday. And I know nobody's going to be calling in to listen to whatever we're going to be discussing on those two particular holidays. So this is the reason why, if anybody's interested or was curious as to why we're doing it on this particular night. Now, having said that, and if anybody has, like, as I'm going along the way, going on through the presentation, if you have a question about something or if you want to make like a comment, feel free to come off mute, say your name, wait to be recognized before you start talking, because I will hear you and I will acknowledge you in a way will allow you to make your comment or question at the time we do it. So you don't have to wait to the end of the presentation before you do that. Just do it as we go. So, kind of question and comment as we go along. And if you're not talking, we ask that you stay on mute, or if you happen to be off mute and you start getting background noise, then we may actually go on mute at the time as well. In other words, so we want to make sure that any information is heard that is going to be heard can be heard without any major distractions or a lot of distractions. All right, and I'm also going to apologize in advance. We didn't ask if everybody had a good Thanksgiving because I'm sure that's something that happens a lot. Um, for the last, I'll say, week and a half, I have not had a good Thanksgiving or a good week and a half. I've been dealing with some unfortunate stuff, including catching the flu at the beginning of last week. So the reason I say I'm going to apologize in advance, if you hear me cough, you guys might have heard somebody coughing earlier. That's me because I'm at the tail end of it. It's finally going away. And so sometimes I may have to do that, and I may be talking and may not have time to hit the mute button, so you guys won't hear that. So please forgive me for doing an annoying cough every once in a while. I do have a big cup of water here, so if I do find myself getting dry, I need to take a swallow. I can do that right here. Here, let me move it closer to me so I don't have to roll around. Anyway, let's get started. We've already killed about 16 minutes already. Now, the one, as you know, there's many entrees you can have around a holiday. These two holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. Turkey could be one. You could have ham. You could have, some people have duck. Some people, I think there's even a thing down here called turducken, where it's like a turkey, duck, and chicken all into one. I've never had it, but it doesn't sound like too bad. And some of us in the South, we have a thing called gumbo, which I know I've been promising for maybe like 4 or 5 years to do, and it's iBooks like for how to make a gumbo without using, well, you can do it non-visually because I am someone who's total. But the thing is, I haven't cooked it yet. I have an idea how it's done, but I cannot do a presentation on an idea. I have to do a presentation on me have done it, so that way you're getting true testimony as to how to prepare and do it. But gumbo is also a main type of dish that can happen in the South during cold winter holidays. But today we're going to be talking about the bird, the turkey, even though some of us already have eaten it. But this is in case if you want to adventure and do it yourself. It is possible. If you are like me, who is total, don't have any vision, and if you do any cooking, you're probably using a lot of adaptive aids and a lot of adaptive non-visual alternative techniques on how you prepare your meals. Hopefully the information that I'm going to give you tonight will be informative and will allow you to maybe want to try it one time. Maybe adventurous, and you say, well, listen, based on this information that I heard on It's by iBucks Life, I think I can do it as well. So that's why I'm going to be very detailed on how it's done. All right. So the first thing you do, of course, if you're going to cook a turkey, the one thing that is most essential that you need to do is acquire the turkey. You can't have turkey. You can't have no imaginary turkey. So you do have to go and get one. Depending on how many people you are expecting to come over for dinner, can also depict on what size turkey that you are going to acquire. Now, I've seen them as small as 10 pounds to as large as 20 pounds. I've never cooked it, and I think they even go bigger than that. But I think the biggest turkey that I have prepared may have been 16 pounds because some kind of way one was gifted to me. And it stayed in my freezer, it seemed like for months, until one time I said, okay, we're going to get rid of this thing once and for all. But normally I probably would get something like maybe a 13 to a 14 or 15 pound turkey. Now, when you buy them most of the time from the grocery store, they are frozen. I mean, these things could be a seriously weapon. Excuse me. Because when a turkey is frozen solid, it's as tough as a bowling ball, if you ask me. So if you get one, let's see if you one of the last minute folks. I will say the good time to get one maybe be like Sunday or Monday. But if you got one already, you already know that's what you're going to be fixed. I would say the best time to probably start preparing to defrost it, meaning take it out of your freezer, probably on Monday or either 2 or 3 nights before, if you wanted to get it real thawed out. Now, if you decide to wait until the night before, that might be a little problematic. There are methods for thawing it out the night before, but it's not a fast process either. Meaning, first you have to take it out, then you have to sit it in water. Sit it in water, add not hot, not freezing cold, but I'll say maybe like room temperature. That will help start it. But I really would advise don't wait till the night before to take it out. I would say give it at least 2 nights. Because what you could do at 2 nights before, and I've done it, you can just take it out your freezer. And if you have one of these double-sided sinks, just sit it in that sink or sit it in a pot, something big enough to hold it or a pan, and just let it sit there out of the refrigerator. I'll say by maybe like let's say you have taken it out um maybe 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday. By 6 or 7 that evening on Wednesday, it should be good and thawed. Now it may be still a little cold, but it should be pretty much completely thawed. And then what you could do on maybe like the next day, like the Wednesday before, that's the time you probably could sit it in water. Now, if it is completely thawed out, and you could tell that by actually touching it, if you can feel it being pretty much soft all over, and if it's inside of the packaging, then your turkey is pretty much good and thawed out. Now, if it happened to be thawed out on the outer part of it, there may be a little cold on the inner part, which that part will get thawed out once you start washing it. Yes, the very next essential thing that you will need to do when it comes to preparing a turkey is yes, you have to wash it and wash it thoroughly. Meaning, like when I wash mine, when I have prepared them, I'm probably washing anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes because I just want to make sure this thing is fully sanitized. There's no kind of poisoning or contaminants around it or anything like that. So I may be overdoing it a bit, but that's just what I do because I just want. It's better to be safe than sorry, as the old saying will say. And when you unwrap it or take it out of its packaging, one thing you will find, and this is what I have found in most of the turkeys that I have purchased, then in the center of it, what some people will probably use the term calling it the cavity, you will have stuff in that part will be the neck of the turkey, which is usually like a long, it's going to look like a rope, look like a, but not a long rope, but it's going to be round and it's going to be inside of a piece of plastic. The other thing you will find in there is called the giblets or gizzards. I'm not sure what the proper name. Somebody might know a better name for it. You can come up with me and let everybody know. But I know it's another sack that's inside another another little small sack. And that's always in the cavity in the middle of the turkey. So you're gonna pull it out and kind of set it aside. Now some folks may use that stuff for probably everything else that they're going to cook. Like those giblets or whatever it is, they probably use that to put in their gravy. Or I think one person, I haven't done it, but someone said they may put it in their dressing. One moment. Sorry, I had to drink some water. But anyway, you're going to pull that out and put it aside because mainly now we want to focus on is cleaning the big turkey. Now, I remember the first time I wanted to cook a turkey happened about I say this is 2025, maybe in 2009 or 2010. And I had called my mother to ask her, I called several people. Usually when I want to know how to do something, I will get advice from several people to see, make sure everybody's kind of on the same page or whatever makes sense. So, first person I called my mother, she says, treat it like it's a big chicken. Well, actually, a turkey could be considered a big chicken, but she said just treat it that way. Just make sure you wash it thoroughly. Of course, you're talking about if it was a whole chicken that cut up into parts. And, apply your seasons as you normally would, like a regular chicken. So when I take the turkey out, and the turkey is huge, um, you're going to find these big old legs and the wings. And basically, you're going to turn on your water. I usually have my water not too hot, just enough that I can stand it. Maybe not cold, but a little warm. And I'm washing it. I'm flipping it over. I may wash the top part of it, meaning when it's faced up, I'm going to thoroughly wash it that way. I'm going to flip it over on the side, wash that side, flip it again on the other side, wash the back, flip the other side. Basically, I'm just going round and round in the sink with the water running on top of it with my hands, also making sure I'm cleaning this turkey everywhere. Make sure I don't feel any slimy or oily parts of it out. I even run it on the inside, that part that I have taken the turkey neck and the turkey giblets out of as well. So it's going to be extremely and thoroughly good and clean once I get done with it. And again, this takes like I say, anywhere from 20, maybe 25 to 30 minutes, depends on how big your turkey is. Even if it's like a 10-pound turkey, I still may take that long because I just want to make sure that I have gotten rid of whatever may on there that may be kind of harmful. Now, once I have gotten it good and clean, then I'm going to set my oven to maybe 350. Maybe 300. Because one good thing about cooking a turkey, it's going to cook a long time, but you don't want to cook it too fast. So it can, really get good and moist and cook slow and all the ingredients get in there. And anything that cooks slow when you're baking it is going to make it good and tender as well. So I think just to get the oven warm, I'm probably going to turn it on at 350. So that way my oven is already getting preheated and, closed and everything is closed. Oh, you also want, before you turn on the oven, make sure your bottom rack, which is the rack you're going to put your turkey on, you may have to lower it from where you normally would have it because you're going to need enough room for the turkey to fit in there comfortably. So take your rack, and if you are able to do that, you can get someone to do it as well. Pull it out. Usually, you have like tracks inside your oven on your left and the right that holds the rack in place. And all you need to do is pull it up, pull it towards you, not pull it up, but pull it towards you so that the back part of it comes out of the track that's in, and then you can go down to the next track. So you will need to lower that rack from where you normally would have it positioned. Hopefully that makes sense. Then once you have placed that rack back in, make sure your rack is even and not leaning one to the other. And then you can go ahead and turn on your oven, preset it to 350, whether you have one of those digital ones, that might be a lot easier for you. Or if you have a knob, like I still have, then you should have had your stove adapted with a marking so that you know where 350 is located at. And also, if you have, like my oven, I have one that's for the temperature, then I have another one where I can switch from off from it when it's in the off position, it's straight up and down. If I click it to the left, that's bake. If I was clicking one time to the right, that's broil. So if your oven is set like that, you want to make sure you have your setting on bake. Even if you have one of those digital displays, make sure you turn it on, put your setting on bake, and then set your temperature to 350, and then press your start. So now that your oven is going to be getting preheated, this is now you can go ahead and start giving your attention back to your turkey. And you can put the turkey in either a big dish if you have one, or put it in the pan that you're going to be baking it in. I like doing that because as I am applying my spices and seasons to the turkey, some of it will be in the bottom of the pan as well, which also helps give your turkey a good flavor. Besides the seasonings that you're going to have all over it and on the inside of it, you also, as is baking, that can create like the not only from the juice from the turkey, but all of your spices that are in there is also going to get it flavor as well. So it's almost like you going to be using or making a gravy as the turkey is slowly cooking, instead of actually having to make a gravy or purchasing a gravy pack or something like that. So this is why I will probably choose to, well, this is not choose, but this is why I make the decision that I have it in the pan that I'm going to cook the turkey in. Uh, okay. After that, now, once I have it in that pan and then my turkey is good and clean, then you can choose whatever seasonings or spices that you like to use. Um, and it goes to your liking. I'll let you know what I use, but this is something that you can either try, or if you have your own seasons that you like, then use those. I use a little bit of seasonal, which can be by McCormick or Lowry's or whatever I may have in my pantry. Martin's. Not trying to promote any brand over the other, but I take that seasoning and I will sprinkle it all over the turkey. Now, if you have, if you're someone who has cooked a lot, then you probably know how to control how the spices are coming out of the container, so you can check it straight from the container. Um, Let me throw in this one thing that I probably should have done before I got into this part. After you have washed your turkey and put it in the pan, of course, wash your hands as well. Dry your hands so that way you don't ruin the outside layers or whatever you may have your spices in. So that way your wet hands won't rub off some of them, maybe like the writing or something that someone else may need if you do not live alone. Now again, if you're somebody who is know how to apply seasons like myself, I can sprinkle them without sprinkling too much, and I go all over the turkey with it. The top part that's facing me, and all of the sides, and I'm flipping it over, making sure all that season is getting all over that part as well. If you are do not have like a steady hand, then what you can do is get another maybe like disposable plate or container, and however much seasoning you think you're going to use, you can pour it into that, and that way you don't have to worry about doing too much. Or you can also, as a teaching method I used to use when I used to teach a cooking class, pour some in the palm of your least dominant hand, and then once you got that, then you can just spread it all over your meat that way, the turkey that way. So if you're not comfortable doing this directly from the container, you can pour it into the palm of your hand that you're not holding the container with. And then once you have gotten in there, you can go ahead and bring your hand over the turkey and just apply it to the side that is facing you. And do this for each time, all over the turkey. Now, with a turkey, too, you want to make sure you get in between the legs, because when the legs are facing up to you, it's going to be bent over, because you may see the knees pointed up, and the foot part or whatever that ankle part is, that's also going to be up. So in between there, your seasons may not get everywhere if you're just sprinkling. So you may want to use your hand to make sure it's getting all over, in between, on top, underneath. Do that with the wings as well. The wings and the turkey, you will have to go in between to the body of the turkey to make sure your seasoning is getting everywhere. Now, I said I use seasonal. I also may use garlic powder, and I do that the same way I apply the other season. With the seasoning, I'm going to use the same technique. So I use a combination of the seasonal. I use the garlic powder. I may use a little bit of onion powder, but not much. And then I'm going to use some Tony Chachere's. Tony Chachere's, if you guys are not familiar with that, also, it's kind of like an all-purpose seasoning, but it has a different flavor. It's kind of like a lot of seasonings all mixed in one, but it's a little spicy. Little spicy, not so spicy that it's going to burn you up. But there are some, when you go by Tony Chachere, there is one that says spice, is more spice, it may indicate it. I think the color of the container is different. Like one container may be blue, the other one may be purple. One of those two ones is spicier than the other, but it'll be written on the can as well as to which one, if it's a regular Tony's or the one that has extra spice. I think that's what it will say, extra spice. I don't use, some people may use Slap Your Mama. I don't use Slap Your Mama because to me, Slap Your Mama is spicier than Tony's. And you really won't need anything else if you're going to choose to use that. Now, I have no idea what a turkey would taste like if you only use Slap Your Mama. I'm not exactly sure, so I couldn't give you any direction or experience or testimony on that. But that's what I use. I use the Tony's. I use some garlic powder, maybe a little onion powder, not a lot, and the Tony's. Now, I'm not going to use black pepper because the pepper that I want on my meat, I'm going to get that from when I use the Tony Sasheries because it has enough pepper in it, amongst other ingredients, that it will make it spicy enough. All this is going all over the turkey. And once you've gotten it all that, make sure it's all over. Every side, the top that's facing you when you have it in the pan, and on the sides, and on the back part, and even on the other side. So you're gonna probably want to just make sure you may have enough spices in your hands that way that you want to make sure it's all over the turkey. This is how you can know that your meat is well seasoned. Some just for presentation purposes, and I think I got this from one of my sisters. We'll put a little flour on it as well. The flour, I've been told, will give it a nice golden brown type look when it's done. But it also, to me, flour will kind of make it. It may take some of the tenderness away. It may put a little toughness on the skin part as well. So I've done both. I've tried flour, and this is why I know which one I prefer to do. And that's the experience I got when I did have the flour on it. It made me look good and brown, but I thought it made the skin extra tough to me. So I don't use flour. And my turkey still can come good and brown if I let it cook enough. But that's like, again, that's for preference only if someone chooses to do that. Okay? Any questions before I move on? If anybody got a comment on anything before I go on to my next step?
This is Sean.
You said Sean?
Yes, this is Sean.
Go ahead.
An idea I've had, something I've done in the past when I had sight to season a bird like this. Instead of putting the seasoning on, like you said, I'd put the seasoning into a bowl with a little bit of oil, vegetable oil, whatever, turn it into a slurry, and then use a basting brush to baste the skin and under the wing and inside the cavity, etc. You have far more control that way, and I think it's easier to do.
Okay, good idea. No. Like I say, no. My idea is not the perfect one. It's just suggestions, and I like that. Matter of fact, I've heard that for some place too. They say you can put it in a bowl or a plate all together. And you're right, by using that, you definitely would get in between everywhere. It's almost like you really injecting flavors everywhere as well. Some folks may even use flavor injectors. I've never used flavor injectors, but I don't rule it out either. I know that does help as well. So
This is Shannon.
thank you for this, Shine. Go ahead.
Another suggestion for seasoning. So, after I pat my turkey completely dry after washing it or rinsing it, whatever you want to call it, I put extra virgin olive oil on it. But then I spread my seasoning with an electric grinder, and they cost like maybe from $15 up. And then it evenly spreads your dry seasoning over your turkey. And since you can't see, you just have to go back and forth, and it evenly spreads the, cracked pepper or kosher salt or whatever other dry seasonings you have. And it looks really nice, and it's evenly spread over the birds.
So you put all of your seasonings in the grinder? That's what you mean? Okay, I got you. So
And then
that's a
all the
that's a good
pieces are,
mix.
yeah, they're grinded, evenly, and you don't have big spots, where you might have missed or, yeah.
Yeah, and I understand that concept too because as what I was explaining, when I do my seeds, I'm using each container one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas by you doing it that way, it's all mixed together.
Mm-hmm.
So the concept, so you only do this process only once. So
Mm-hmm.
great idea. You and Sean have good ideas. That's the way you can have it. Everything's mixed into one. So that's a good method. That's why you kind of like eliminating a step and probably also saving time. Like me, it may take me probably, if I had to guess, and I've never timed myself on when I'm seasoning the turkey, maybe like 10 minutes because I'm thoroughly making sure it's getting everywhere. Maybe 15 minutes, I'm not sure. But having it all mixed together like that, since I'm not doing one container at a time with the different seasons, this helps you to get it all over the place. So I like that idea as well. I don't have a grinder, but maybe I might be something I need to acquire. Appreciate that. Anybody else? Okay. So now that the turkey has come, I mean the turkey is well seasoned, it's clean, it's also well seasoned all over it. One thing I also forgot to point out too, when you purchase a turkey, depends on how big it is too. Some of them will have these pop-up timers or thermometers that's already placed in the turkey as well. I think Butterball does that. That's one brand who makes turkeys and sell. Other brands may do it as well, but that's usually in your turkeys that are like maybe 14 pounds and larger. And this is a great indicator of, even though you may want to pick a time to set, and when you have done it enough, you know how long it would take, as well as when you do like a trial and error to see how the turkey looks. This pop-up timer is another good way as an indicator when your turkey is either done or almost done. And basically, it's just a little round thing that when it's flat, it's going to be flat and sticking up into at some part of the turkey, probably in a cavity on the side or whatever. And you want to have that always faced up. And so when you look in your oven, if you're checking on, if it isn't cooked long enough, if that's popped up, this is when you're probably in the final home stretch or the last stretch of your turkey being done. Because that's a great indicator that it is definitely cooked long enough. Now, you also want to acquire a baking bag for a turkey. And they usually come two in a box or maybe four. You usually can find these sold in the area if you're in a grocery store where you may find foil paper or Ziploc bags or trash bags. So you usually can find it in that section of most stores, whether it's your favorite grocery store where you live or your Walmarts or your Targets or whatever. I just said most of the places, that's usually where you can find that. And it even would give you an indicator as to how many pounds this bag can hold. And it tell you maybe like up to 20 pounds. And if you got a real big one, it may say up to 30 pounds. Depends on what size turkey you're getting. Now, what you want to do, you want to take one of these bags and you want to put your turkey inside this bag. Um, th- this helps to not only, excuse me again, helps to keep your flavors cooking through and through your turkey, as well as keeping it good and moist once it's inside this bag. And it also holds all those juices because when your turkey is done, you're going to carefully pull the bag from out or cut it out, pull it out, and of course all those juices are going to go into the bottom along with the moisture that has already built up in while you were baking your turkey as well. And this is the way when you do it this way, you don't need to cover it like most when you're baking meat. You have to cover it with foil. You won't need to do that because your bag will serve as not having your meat exposed so much. The bag is I don't know the dimensions of the bag itself because I know it usually has it written on the box. This is a bacon bag for, and it'll tell you for a whole it's like a 20-pound turkey. So if you got like a 15-pound or 16-pound turkey, that bag would be big enough. If you have like a 12-pound turkey, you may not need such a bag. You can use it if you choose to, but you probably want to get a bag that's going to be a little bit smaller. Or if you have like a small turkey, then you probably won't need to bag it all. And this is where you can you can get one of those roasting pans that's kind of like not rectangular, not square, but it's kind of oval shaped. And you can probably just cover it up before you want to do it away if your turkey is small. But we're going to go on saying that your turkey is big. Have it inside this bag. And basically, you open the bag up. If you want to know how to put the turkey inside of the bag, it's kind of self-explanatory. But in case no one has never done this before, uh, for those of you who are experienced, just humor me for like about 30 seconds. Basically, you're going to open the bag up, and when it's wide, good open on both ends, take one end, and you're going to lift the turkey up a little bit so you can get that one part that you're holding to the bag to go underneath it and pull it through to the other side. And you can do this on each side, because of course it's going to be kind of wet and moist down there. So it may be a little bit of a struggle, but not much. But just make sure you lift the turkey up enough so you can pull one side of the bag underneath it. Be careful not to tear it because you don't want to do that. And that could be somewhat, unfortunate. And then take the top part and pull it over as well so you can get the whole turkey completely submerged inside this bag. If you have access port, like a lot of room left over in the bag, just tuck it under the bag, underneath the turkey. So, and then that way you got enough room for, the moisture to build up, and you don't want just that bag just sitting on top, just exposed like that, so tuck it under. But make sure you also, as you're placing your turkey inside the bag, make sure that thermometer is the one that is stuck inside there, the pop-up one. Make sure that's exposed as well, so that you can also see it as well as feel it.
At
Go ahead.
Most of the bag directions on the box say to put a little flour in the bag, and that way the the turkey isn't going to stick to the bag as
Okay.
it's browning. And they also say you can slice an onion or put celery stalks in the bottom of the bag, and you set the turkey on it, and that helps flavor it as well.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I did forget one step that I do when I'm applying the seasonings to my turkey, and I appreciate you
A-
giving it. You're right. She's right that the
And
oh, go ahead. I thought you was through. Go ahead.
And also, you can put seasoning inside the turkey. Some people put dressing in there, but if you aren't, you can put a half of a lemon or orange in there, and it does add flavor as it's baking, or cloves of garlic in the cavities, and that helps flavor it as well. That's it.
Absolutely. Okay, absolutely. Thank you. The one thing I failed to mention is besides all the seasoning and by her mentioning the things that she said you can put inside there, I do have what I call a trinity. And my trinity is basically I have uh, green onion, regular onion, garlic, and celery. And I have like a food chopper, or you can use a food processor or a grinder. And I have all that chopped up together, and I always place it into a container. And I use that for pretty much a whole lot of things that I am baking, or if I'm cooking something slow, like when I'm cooking my red beans, I use that my part of my trinity to go inside that. So when I have and I have no idea where the term Trinity comes from, but that's what I've been told when you have like your greenery mixed up. And mine is green onion, celery, and garlic, and it's chopped up real fine. That's why I have it in a container. And what I do is I take like a few pinches of it, maybe like depends on how big the meat is. If it takes five, six, or seven, put it all over the turkey as well. Inject it into air. Put it also on the inside of the turkey to give the turkey that extra flavor as well. And so once it's inside the bag, that also is going to be mixing with everything else with the season to give it a nice flavor as well. Her idea with the flour inside the bag, which the boxman says, you can use that too. And I think that probably does help that it won't stick to the bag. And matter of fact, that's probably why I have done that. And it's good to get the bag off of the turkey as well. Also gives it a good look too. Good, gives a great presentation. Uh, Now, once you have gotten your turkey completely inside the bag with all of its seasonings, all you have done, all of your preparations that you have done. Now it's time to transport your pan over to get it inside of the oven. Now, when you open your oven door, you depends on if you're someone who has not cooked that much, and you may be a little intimidated by heat. This is where you can either use maybe some large oven mitts or get you a couple of pot holders, and you can hold it, grab on one each end, and you want to have it rectangular wise to go inside of your oven, not vertical, because you want to make sure it goes all the way in there. And that way you can set it down in there. Now, someone like myself who is not too intimidated by heat, I maybe when I'm putting it in there, I do not use oven mitts because I'm well orientated with where my of how my oven is, how wide it is, that I know I'm not going to accidentally touch the sides, or I'm not going to accidentally touch the rack, or I may even pull the rack out. Now, I will use an oven mitt or a pot holder to pull the rack out because, yes, that part is hot since my oven is already preheated. So I pull it out as far as it can go without taking it out. And then that way I can set my pan on top of the rack. Remember, you're going to do it horizontally. And then you can use the oven mitt to shove the rack inside with your turkey in there as well. And then close your oven door. Now, you probably can keep it at 350, but if you want it to cook real slow, you might want to lower it to 300. No, because the turkey is big. I actually leave mine, excuse me, y'all. I keep mine between 325 and 350, or I keep it at 350. Now, turkey was going to take about 3 hours plus to cook, and some, depends on how big it is, may take 4 to 5. Depends on how big that turkey is. But, if you got it cooking slow, and if you do it enough times, you can tell by the aroma that you're smelling if the turkey is either done or maybe is on the part of almost cooking too long and is drying out. I'm gonna take another sip of water here. Um, but I know, and when I've cooked mine, they're gonna take at least maybe 3 to 4 hours. I think one time, when I cooked a turkey that was 5 hours, that's because I had that big old 16 pound or 18 pound. That turkey was huge. So it took a while. I think once I prepped it, I put it in the oven like at 5 o'clock, and I think we went to the mall to do like some holiday shopping and came back like by 8 or 9 o'clock. And I was going enough time, and it was cooked enough and it was big enough that I didn't have to worry about it being overcooked. Now, a couple of things you can do to check on if the turkey is done. One, and of course, I'm using techniques as if because I'm somebody who don't have any vision at all. I will open the oven to see if that pop up timer, that's the thing, the little plastic thing, little round thing that's inside of the turkey, has popped up. Now, after like 3 hours or 4 hours, it should have popped up by then. Um, and then once it has, then I will pull it out because this bag is clear. Now, I will probably take and touch it lightly with my hand or using an oven mitt to see if it's good and soft and tender and it's not tough anywhere on the top part or on the sides. And then and then of course the aroma of it. If I'm smelling it, I can definitely tell if it's done, or it may be need to be cook a little longer. But just to be sure, I would either, if I have someone that I'm living with who does have good working vision, I will ask them to come and look and see if it's good and brown, or I will use such service as visual interpretation services like Be My Eyes or IRA, AIRA, and that way I can get a live person who also can let me know if it's good and brown. And if they tell me that it's good and brown from what they're able to see, the part that's facing up, they let me know I'm like in the home stretch. The turkey probably is all the way done, or it may need maybe like another 20 minutes or something like that. And even the Be My Eyes AI portion would also give a good description of it as well. So this is where it comes the time that you can cut the bag away from that's covering up the turkey so that all of the juices and moistures can fall out and fall into the pan. And that way you can maybe pull like one of the legs up or one of the wings up and use someone's vision or a vision interpretation services, and they can let you know that you probably can. Like actually, what I've done, I've actually have turned it on its side. I've removed the pan from the oven, probably turned it from inside, and have them look to see if it looks good and done on that side as well. So and again, this is till after 3 hours has passed. Your pop-up timer has popped up, or it depends on the size of your turkey. If you needed 4 hours and you cooked it slow, and then this is where your turkey is completely done because if it's brown on all sides and it smells like it's really good, and you can use like either a fork or maybe if you got like a small paring knife, if it cuts real easily, that lets you know it's good and tender and it's done. And you can even slice a little piece, put it on like a saucer, and then you can taste it as well. But one way that that your turkey is good and juicy is by those process. Not only that bag has kept the moisture in there, and then all of the juices and all of your flavors they're going to flow to the bottom of the pan. So that's where you got your turkey gravy as well, and it can be good and smirched, and you got a nice good turkey ready for somebody to carve it and cut it up and ready to serve, be ready to eat. Um, Before I move on, does anybody have any other questions or comments regarding
Valencia.
everything that is discussed? Hey, Valencia.
Sorry, I'm mid chew. Um, I just wanted to point out that there are also some oven gloves that you can buy where it's literally like gloves, so each finger has a slot instead of the mitt style,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually go all the way up to your elbow. And I
Mm-hmm.
think those are a lot better, especially if you're doing cooking with ovens non-visually, because I like to get up close and personal with my
Okay.
ovens, so I tend to get close to the heat, and that definitely protects me better than I think pot holders and regular oven mitts.
Yeah, I've seen those, and she's right. The air sealer gloves, you got a slot for each finger, and they're rubber, and so that does help. Helps for more control. And you're right, it probably is better than a mitt. And I guess I said mitt because I don't have those things, but I probably will make an investment. I have seen them at someone else's house and have used it before as well. So that could be a great acquisition for cooking with this as well. Let me ask before, because I'm kind of done with the turkey part, because I was going to also talk about how I make my cornbread dressing as well, which would be one of the sides that I just got to have on a holiday. Does anybody have any other questions about the turkey or prep, or has anybody now who has never done it before, if you're on here, may want to think about trying it?
At
Go ahead.
sometimes I have a talking meat thermometer, and I will use that in the biggest part of
Checking
the
the temperature.
breast to
Yes.
check the temperature. So that is another good aid to use to check if the meat's done.
It's a good safe add too because the part that you're going to stick in the meat to check the temperature is long, so you don't have to worry about getting too close to the meat as well, of worrying about burning yourself. And a good talking thermometer won't even take long. You just inject it in there. It looks like a big needle. And once you inject it in, you just press the button and it should tell you the temperature. Some of them will tell you in Fahrenheit or Celsius, whatever your preference is. Anybody else?
This is Sean.
Good, Sean.
I've got a nice digital thermometer, which is wireless, and it talks to your phone. So I can put 3 or 4 probes into the bird. I put one in the thigh, one in the breast, and I could literally sit in my living room and be checking the temperature instead of getting up to check it in the kitchen. Because I can look on my phone and figure out where we are as far as cooking is concerned. That might work for some folks.
So these pros come with, I guess, with an app that you have to download on your
Well,
phone?
it is, yeah. It's the digital thermometer has 3 or 4 probes that are wired and have a component that's on top of the oven that will work well
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't melt. And it's Bluetooth, so it'll talk to your phone. And there's
Mm-hmm.
an app on your phone that will tell you the temperature of each of the probes, so you can figure out my breast is here, my thigh is here, and you know where things are.
What are they called?
I don't remember. It's a digital thermometer. It's really built for grills, but it'll
Okay.
work for an oven as well. And I don't remember the
Okay.
name of it. There are a number of them. If you go to Home Depot or whatever, you'll see there are a number of different digital thermometers, and you'll find them in the grilling section.
You know, that sounds like fun. I'm definitely going to acquire that. I
I
am going to
think
get
I
this
think it's something
because
like uh, Temperature Pro or Therm Pro or something like that. I don't remember the name of it, and obviously I can't read it anymore. But
that's
yeah,
okay. No problem. If anybody can Google that, let me know. Come up here, let us know. I will be doing it if I get done with this presentation, because that's something I got to have.
I guess it's nice to sit in your living room with your guests and not be in the kitchen while it's cooking.
Absolutely. Or, like you indicated, that's a good way of knowing the
Well,
temperature of it. And yeah, I like that. And I take it they must be good to be. You can wash them.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hmm.
They're not dishwasher safe, but you can wash them. So
Correct.
it's like a metal stick.
Hmm.
Outside of that, there's a metal wire that you sneak out of your oven to the top to a little box, which has
Hmm.
got the Bluetooth bits. I also think there's the temperatures are there digitally on that box if for people with low vision and want to be in the same room with it. But the
Hmm.
nice thing about it to me is the fact, like I said, I can sit in the other room and do it, or if I'm
Hmm.
doing my grill outside, I can be sitting at the picnic table. I don't need to stand in on top of the grill to figure out where my meat is when I'm cooking and things.
Okay. Gotcha. I got you. All right.
Yeah.
Every time I do these presentations, I learn something. Writing this out. Go ahead. Go ahead. You said Gladys, Janice? I didn't.
Janice,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
The blindkitchen.com sells a lot of kitchen tools and gadgets that are very useful for blind cooks. So
Blind.
I've found a lot of things on there that are useful for all types of cooking.
Okay, blindkitchen.com. I'm
Hmm.
also going to check Blind Mice Mart. I know they have a lot of gadgets as well. Um, of course, I know a friend of mine, they're first going to go to Amazon. I have somebody I know, and so you guys probably going to, they think everything is on Amazon. And actually, that's not too far from the truth. Just about everything is on Amazon these days. But I digress. But I'm definitely
Hi,
going to look this thing up. Who's that?
this is Nicole.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Hi, I kind of walked out of the room for a little bit, and I apologize for that. But did you guys mention Maxi Aids? They have a lot of cooking utensils for the blind as well.
Have not. We have not. So we got that's another third thing to check. They may have that. And Max A's I'm very familiar with. I haven't purchased from them in a while, but for the agency I work for, I know we use them a lot. So
Yeah.
Maxi A's is a good place.
Hmm.
Independent Living is another good spot. There's one more that I can't think of. I was about to say American Printing House, but I don't know how well supplied they are on kitchen utensils. Okay, so I'm going to discuss, and now this one's probably going to be. I know they probably got several different ways of how to prepare a dressing, but this is the one that the method that I use, and I actually learned this from somebody Strangely enough, the person who I learned it from hardly ever cooks, but they know people that cooks, and they want you to cook it for them, even though they got all of the steps and all of the information how to prepare it themselves. They just don't do it themselves. I even tell them that all the time. I said, look, you telling me how to do all this stuff, you can actually get in this kitchen and do it. But because there was a time I think all my life, I've always loved dressing, but never knew how to make it or even understand what was the foundation, how did things even come together. I just know I love to eat it. And so when I found out what it was done, I've done it so much now, I pretty much have perfected it. So I'm going to talk about a cornbread dressing. Now, I know you think of the word cornbread, you think the dressing is going to be sweet. It's not really. With all of the stuff that we are mixing it with, it's not going to taste anything like cornbread. At least I don't think it does. So the ingredients I need with that, besides um, my spices, of course, and then my Trinity, I'm going to use 1 box of Jiffy cornbread mix. It's a small box. Some of them may say cornbread muffin mix, but basically it's just Jiffy cornbread mix. Some stores can sell it as cheap as 33 cents a box, or some may have it 50 cents. Depends on the store, but they don't cost that much. And then you're going to make that like you're going to make a cornbread. Basically, because on the instruction it may say 1 egg, 1/3 cup of oil, and or some may say oil, some may say water, some may say milk. Depends on which one you get, if it's not Jiffy. But actually, before I do that, before I even open the cornbread muffin mix up, I'm going to use 3 drumsticks, 3 chicken legs, and I'm going to broil them or boil them. Well, no, 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 no. Before I even boil them, like with anything that you're cooking, you're gonna wash the chicken legs first. Wash them thoroughly. Any kind of meat, you want to make sure to get good and washed. Now, I'm not gonna wash them as long as I wash the turkey because again, they're not as big. But I'll make sure I thoroughly wash them. And I'm going to place the drumsticks inside of the pot that I'm going to boil them in. And I'll apply the seasonings that I'm going to use because I do season the drumsticks as well, the chicken legs. And I'm going to do it inside of the pot. Again, because it helps, gives that sound was me trying to not cough and the cough wanting to come out. That's why I was sounding kind of weird there for a moment. Um, so that the water is actually getting seasoned as well. So I'm going to season each chicken leg with some seasoned oil, some garlic powder, and onion powder, and maybe a little black pepper. Each drumstick, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to season it all over the chicken legs, each side. Chicken legs are round, so you do one side, and then you have to flip them all over and do the other side. Make sure it's all over the chicken. So I got my 3 well-seasoned drumsticks with my garlic powder, onion powder, season all, as well as maybe some black pepper as well. I'm going to fill the I guess this would be a 2-quart pot. Fill it up with water and make sure the water is covering the chicken legs. You don't want to do like part way. I want to make sure it's covering it. And then I will set my burner on medium to high, but mainly, no, I'm going to have it on medium. I'm not going to have it on high at all. And I'm going to let it boil, not cover it up. This may take probably 45 minutes, maybe an hour, if your stove is working properly. And that helps to get it good and boiled. It also helps make the chicken meat be extremely tender, and it also make the chicken easy to get all of the excess skin off a lot easier. So while my chicken is boiling, this is when I will open the cornbread mix, put it into a bowl, use 1 egg, use 1/3 of a cup of oil, and mix it. Using maybe a spoon or a fork. And you don't want to go too hard with it because cornbread mix is real flaky. It may pop up out of your bowl. So I guess make sure you have a big enough mixing bowl as well, and just get it well mixed together. And it's going to end up being kind of thick, but you just want to make sure that that part is well mixed. Get you a 9 by 13 pan, what if it's a disposable pan or if you got like a permanent pan of your own, and you're going to take the cornbread mix and use a spoon to scrape it into the pan. And then once you got it all of the mix out of the bowl as best you can, then you want to take your fingers and move the mix all over the pan on the bottom part of the pan. Now it's going to be very flat. It's gonna be that thick at all. Maybe make just be like one layer. So and you want to make sure it's even as well, so it can be all over the pan. You will put that in your oven. Have your oven set at whatever you had, probably the same temperature you had that you had done your turkey. That's only now. This is only going to take like about 10 to 12, maybe 10 minutes. Only about 10 minutes for this mix to make, because you don't want to mix it like you're making a cornbread. You just want to get it mixed enough, and this is going to be pretty much the base of your dressing. And you want to let it cook long enough to be done, but not so long that it's going to become crispy on the edges. Because that has happened before to me before. So I learned, by knowing how long to let it cook. So you definitely want to have a timer set for that. I would say have it set at 10 minutes, or if you start smelling it, just open your oven and check to make sure that, is good and it has gotten a brown coloring to it. And you don't want make sure that the edges, and what I mean by the edges, the part that's closer to the sides of the pan, that they have not gotten crispy. And what you're going to do is once you pull it out of your oven, you're basically going to crumble it all up inside the pan. Just this is where kids would have fun or anyone can have fun, because you're just going to ball it up. You're not going to keep it like it's going to be flat anyway. Because again, we've only used one egg. We're not trying to make cornbread. We're just trying to make like a base for the actual dressing. So you want to take both your hands after it has cooled enough. I'll say maybe wait like 3 to 5 minutes for it to cool down, that you can withstand crumbling up this cornbread, and crumble it up real fine. I mean, make it like it's going to be like crumbs all over the pan, everywhere. And if you got any crunchy pieces, take those out, because you don't want those to be in your dressing at all. So crumble it up as fine as you can get it. And you're going to keep that inside the pan that you're going to use, that you're going to put your dressing in. Now, I'm going back to the chicken now that we had boiling, the chicken legs. Once we have done that boiling. Oh, one other thing you may need to purchase too, besides the Jiffy cornbread mix, is a can of cream of chicken. Now, I know you have cream of chicken, you may have cream of mushroom. I don't want to use the cream of mushroom because I don't want mushrooms. I'm one of those do not want mushrooms in my dressing. Some people like it, I don't. So this is just, my personal choice. Not saying this is the right way or the only way, but this is just how I prepare. I get a can of cream of chicken. It's usually a small can as well. Now, I'm going back to the chicken legs now. Once the chicken legs are done, they've done boiled, you want to take each chicken one leg at a time, get you like a separate plate, and you want to pull off the skin, also the skin and any other part that's near the bottom, because that part is not going to go in your dressing. And then you want to take what's that thing, the wishbone, take that off as well, the little skin, the little stick that may be on the chicken. And you want to take the chicken and make very, very, very small pieces of it as well. Kind of like you're grinding it up, but I do it with my fingers. I know some people may use like maybe a food processor or something electric, but just my preference. I do it because I'm a hands-on type of person. And I just break the meat all up real fine with my hand as best I can get it. And I do that with each drumstick, and I do it one at a time. And all of the excess stuff, I basically throw that away. So, and then I'm also one of those who put shrimp in my dressing. So I have a cornbread dressing with shrimp in it. And I use like bite-sized shrimp, not the big jumbo shrimp. Or some people have used jumbo shrimp. I don't want to use them too big, so I'd say like bite-sized shrimp. Or you can use popcorn shrimp, whatever you want. And you take the shrimp and you buy the shrimps that are already deveined, and it may say frozen to where it's easy peeled. So you just take off the little shell part, take that part off, and season it. I usually season my shrimp with a little Tony's and maybe a little garlic powder. I may put Tony's on one side and garlic powder on the other side. And depends on the size of the pan. I may take like, man, I never counted them. So I'll say like maybe half a pound or if they're bite sized, maybe like about anywhere from 12 to 15 of them. And so with my shrimp, with my ground up chicken that I've done by hand, and my cream of chicken, I'm going to, well, first I'm going to put the chicken pieces in the cornbread that's all crumbled up. And I'm going to make sure it's evenly spread all over the pan, the chicken, the cornbread crumbs and the chicken is evenly spread all over the pan. Then I'm going to take that, whatever the boil that was left in that pot from the chicken, I'm going to pour that into the pan as well, just to give it that same flavor. Then I'm going to take, and then of course you want to mix that all over. Make sure it's all over the pan evenly. You may have to use like a spoon or a fork or whatever to, get it well mixed together inside that pan. Then I'm also going to take the shrimp that I have seasoned with Tony's and garlic powder, and I'm going to strategically place them all over the pan. Depends on a minute and a half. I'm going to make sure it's all of that so that, but the main concept is that if I'm going to be serving somebody dressing, and if there's somebody who eats shrimp and not allergic to it, then they will have shrimp in their portion of the dressing that they are going to get. Um, and I always give everybody warning, like if I'm somebody who has made it, or if I'm bringing it to a holiday party, I'm going to let everybody know the shrimp, there is shrimp in it because I know some folks are allergic to seafood or allergic to any kind of shellfish or something like that. So in my pan, not only do I have the cornbread that's all crumbled up, I got the shrimp that's in it. I got the cream of chicken. Oh, that's the last thing I said. I haven't after I have poured in the broth or the boil that was left in the pot from the chicken and the chicken mist and the cornbread and the shrimp. Then I take the cream of chicken and I open it up. Most of the cream of chicken is a pop top. Some of them may be a top that you may use a can opener, but the most of the ones that I purchase is a pop top. So I would pour that into the pan as well. And I may have to use like a small teaspoon to make sure I got it all scooped out. Now this is really thick too. So I may take like a small no, maybe take a little bit of water. Maybe just to make sure I'm getting all of the cream of chicken out of there. And I may fill it like maybe a fourth of the way, no, maybe a third of the way up, not fill it up to the top. Because you basically just want to loosen up the cream of chicken. So I pour that into the pan as well. Then I take a fork or a spoon and I'm just mixing it all over. Make sure it's well mixed. And this is basically how you're forming your dressing. Now, and then I also may throw in some pinches of my Trinity. Remember, I said earlier, my Trinity is a combination of my green onion, regular onion, garlic, and celery, all chopped up real fine. Put that also inside the dressing as well. And if I need to sprinkle a little, maybe season all over it, I would, but most of the time I don't have to because all the other things, like the chicken has been seasoned, the shrimp has been seasoned. So I'm just mixing it all up, good, and it's also not dry. Then I will put that in my oven. I think for the first time, I'm going to cover it up with foil and I'm going to let it bake, cook for maybe like 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. And the reason why I'm saying 30 to 40, because it all depends on how big the pan is that you're going to be using or how much dressing that you're going to make. 40 minutes is a good time. So let's just say for directional purposes, we are going to leave it at 40 minutes. This is so the dressing can be baking, and I can once my timer has gone off, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the foil off, and I'm going to let it cook again for probably like another 5 to 10 minutes, so it can be golden brown on top. Now, once it is golden brown on top, I don't know if the folks who design BMIs, they don't know what dressing is because every time I've got a description from it using the AI portion of it, it will say it looks like a casserole dish that is golden brown. So that lets you know the dressing is done. And then you can also get like a teaspoon or something and put it on a plate so that you can taste it. But that's how I make my cornbread dressing. Now, some people put sage in theirs. I'm not sure if I've never used it and I may have had it but just didn't know. But when I had a family living with me, they didn't like sage. Matter of fact, they wanted to make sure that I never put sage in there. And so I never did to know if that gives a good flavor. Some people put gizzards in their dressing. I'm not sure if I've ever had it before. I don't put it in mine. So that's another way that you can make a dressing. Like I said earlier, some people put mushrooms in it. Dressings has like a wide variety of the way that you can make it and how you can fix it. And then the dressing, like indicated, I put shrimp in mine. It doesn't always need shrimp. Like, because I think I have made it without the shrimp because I think I forgot to purchase it. But the dressing still came out good without the shrimp. Or I may have made the dressing and I took it to a particular gathering. And just to make sure I was on the safe side in case somebody may have been allergic to seafood or allergic to shellfish, I didn't put it in there. So, does anybody have any questions or comments about dressing? Or if you have made dressing before, I want to hear how, what do you do different? Or has no one ever made dressing before?
Yes, this is Louise,
Hey,
Georgia.
Louise.
Hi. What do you make that Jiffy mix with? Water, milk, or?
It's already in a box, so I just follow the instruction that when I'm going to make it, I just use on the box. It says 1 egg, it says 1 cup of oil, and then it may say you can either use water or milk.
Okay.
And you're only going to use 1/3 of a cup of that as well. You don't want to use too much because then it just gets to be too runny.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I have one suggestion.
Go ahead.
Okay, on the turkey and the chicken legs.
Mm-hmm.
If you soak that turkey face down in vinegar and water, if the vinegar and water will pull out all the impurities, all that trash and stuff that's in that meat. It will come out in that vinegar and water mix.
So you say soak it in before you put your seasonings. Is that correct?
Yes. For about an hour.
Okay.
And it will pull out all the trash.
It's not gonna make your turkey taste like vinegar?
No. It's gonna give it a little seasoning, but no.
Yeah, I'm being silly. I know it won't.
But it will pull out the impurities.
Okay, that's a good idea. I will try that the next time. I will try that. That's a great idea. I never was told that, but the concept makes sense. It is logical to me.
Yeah, that's how you sanitize it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good idea. Anybody else? Any comments on dressing? Do you even like dressing?
This is Sean.
Good, Sean.
I was trying not to speak because I feel like I've been monopolizing, and I'm sorry about that.
Give me a chance to drink some water without talking. Go ahead.
One of the things you pulled out of the bag in out of the bird in those bags was the turkey neck. You could use that instead of, or in addition to the chicken legs when you're making your stock there. And the nice thing about that is the neck, the bones are exposed, so you're getting all that out of the into your broth as well before you put it into your dressing, and it would give it a more robust flavor to it.
Interesting. Okay.
I usually use that to make gravy more than in a dressing, but it's the same concept. You're making stock and you're putting stock in.
That's
right. Stock. So.
Good job. That's right. That's good to know. Now everybody know what to do with that turkey neck that I talked about earlier. I just said check it out, put it aside.
The gizzards you might not want to do that with because some people don't like organs, and I'm not going to get into that conversation. But the neck is the neck.
All right. Good idea. Exactly. Okay. Anybody else got any comments or questions about dressing? Anybody going to try it if you've never done it before?
Pat.
Go ahead.
Okay, I grew up eating dressing. My mom used like Pepperidge Farm dressing. They're kind of like cute croutons, kind of little squares. But she always boiled the innards for the broth. And it added a lot of flavor. She didn't put them in the stuffing, but, it was in the broth to season it. And she always melted butter in a skillet and sauteed onions and celery in there and put that in the stuffing as well. And that added a lot of flavor. And then she would put broth in there till it was at the consistency she wanted. And cranberries are a good addition to stuffing, like dried cranberries. And sometimes you can find the Pepperidge Farm stuffing mix with the dried cranberries in it already. But that's what I grew up eating. And that's one of my favorite side dishes for chicken or turkey.
Mm-hmm. It is. Like I may go to a restaurant sometimes. You don't even have to be a holiday, and like you go to like Luby's, and they always have like chicken and dressing. I just love dressing. It's especially when it's when it's made right and it's well seasoned. Some dressings are so good you may not even need gravy, but sometimes you may need like a little bit of gravy to give it a good flavor, keep it moist. Let me do this. Two things I'm going to do. There may be, so if anybody who has joined us late, because when we started it off, we went around and met everybody, introduced themselves, and say where they were calling from. If you did not get a chance to do that, go ahead and come off mute and say your name and the city and state that you're calling from or country. Because we know iBug is international now.
Hello, my name is Carlo. I'm from Montreal, Canada.
I just said iBug is international. Glad to have you here from Canada. Anybody else who did not get a chance to introduce yourself?
This is Deb from Wichita, Kansas.
Okay. Welcome, Deb.
Thank you.
All right. So here's what I want to do. And I want, anybody can feel free. I don't care if you talked before. I've never talked tonight. Is there, I just want to hear your comments or suggestions. Maybe you can give me some, the answer to this particular thought that I just had. Is there a difference between stuffing and dressing? Or is it pretty much the same?
This is Nicole. Hi.
Go ahead. Hi.
Okay, so I come from the South too originally, and in the South we say stuffing, but in the North they may say dressing.
And you know what? That's funny. I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was the North that says stuffing. Excuse me. That's in the South says dressing.
Yeah, I come from North Carolina, and my people growing up, they would always
Mhm.
say, "Go on in the kitchen and get that there stuffing."
Anybody else? Y'all know if there's a difference between stuffing and dressing?
This is
Or is
Sean.
it the same thing? Go ahead, Sean.
I think that it's really in the word. Stuffing is when it's cooked in the bird and stuffing the bird, and dressing is when it's being cooked like you did in a casserole outside the bird.
Okay. That's putting some logic to it. I'll go with that.
Okay, this is Louise from Georgia.
Go, Louise from Georgia.
Now, we call it dressing because dressing has to be made from cornmeal. It's called cornmeal dressing.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't bother with that stuffing down here.
There was somebody else who also came off with Louise. I didn't hear your name at all.
Valencia.
Go ahead, Valencia.
Both of my parents are from Virginia, so I always grew up with the word dressing, and it wasn't put inside the bird. It was made outside with, in a casserole dish, like you said. But I agree with Sean. I think the stuffing comes from when it was actually cooked inside the bird, and then, the dressing was made outside.
So I know you hear commercials talking about stovetop stuffing. Is there stovetop dressing? But probably not.
No.
Absolutely not.
Pat, my family was from Tennessee and they all called it dressing, whether it was in the bird or not. But, I think it's regional or where you're from. They either say dressing or stuffing.
This is Jake.
Good, Jake.
I believe like there's two kinds of stuffing. Like there's cornbread dressing, which is Southern. That's what my grandmother makes. And then there's like stuffing, which they're both good. And it's always outside, not inside the turkey.
And now that that's what I've never put my dressing inside the turkey. I said the next time I cook a turkey, I'm going to do that because I have seen it and have eaten it before at other folks' house. Where if you're getting turkey and they got the dressing, it's inside of the turkey in that cavity part, and that's where it's going to that's also giving your dressing a good flavor as well, like Sean was saying.
But I've heard that. Sorry,
No, go ahead.
I've heard that it dries out at the turkey. Have you heard that?
I have not heard that. Go ahead, Sean.
I was going to say, if you're cooking it inside the bird, you definitely want to do a temperature check just to avoid salmonella.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then I don't know if they cook the dressing separately and then when everything's done, they put that inside the turkey. I don't know. I've never asked. I just eat.
No, I've always had it in the pan, like you were saying, and I've had it either cornbread or breadcrumbs. The seasoning.
Who's the other person?
This is Cindy.
Hey, Cindy.
I think if I had to guess, I think it's about the bread.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Now, I know there's such a thing as rice dressing too, but I don't hear about that at all. I think I heard that when I probably was in elementary school, or I was someplace that I normally am at, and that's part of it was in some cafeteria. I can't recall what it tastes like though, but I have heard of a rice dressing. And it's been so long, I don't even remember if I enjoyed it or not. Is there any other way to make dressing without using cornbread? I guess that's another question. Well, that stuffing, I've never made that stovetop stuffing, so I don't even know what's in that. I've eaten it, and to me, the stuffing, the thing that's called stovetop stuffing, to me it's not as moist or as good as regular dressing. Anybody agree with that? Has anybody's ever had that before?
And I agree. I don't care for it. I'd rather make my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I have an aunt that always made cornbread stuffing, but she also would put biscuits in it too, leftover biscuits.
That's
And
interesting.
it was weird because she always put boiled eggs in it, and I did not care for that taste in there at all.
Yeah, that's definitely unusual. I've never. Go ahead.
But like I said before, my mom and the other relatives always used the stuffing kind of crouton things. And, I did have one of my grandmothers that would also put bread or leftover biscuits in there as well, just to add to it because she had a big family, maybe. But, it's what you grow up eating, I think. It's what you like or where you're from.
This is Deb.
Go ahead.
So the dressing that I like to make, I used to use like white bread or wheat bread, whatever, but I toast it and then break that up and then cook the onions and celery like you were talking with butter and use the broth and I another thing that I like to put in mine sometimes is sausage, like ground sausage in that, as well as the other seasonings and stuff. So it's just a different way of making it. Um, I've had cornbread dressing a lot of times too, and I like it all, but I don't like stovetop stuffing very much.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
This is Janice. I have a
Go ahead,
question
Janice.
for Deb. So, this past Christmas, I used the Pepperidge Farm bought a bag of the Pepperidge Farm and cut up my onions, diced my onions and my celery, used butter and chicken broth, and I was going to put the sausage in there. Had my husband buy some of the sausage that would crumble, but then I didn't have a recipe for it, so I was scared to do it because I was like, so do I cook the sausage before and then put it all in the oven? And I didn't want the sausage to overcook, and so I chickened out on the sausage and I didn't put it in. So Deb, what do you do? I mean, how do you incorporate the sausage?
This is Deb. So I just brown the sausage, and then drain the extra fat
The
off
fat.
of it. Yeah, I just drained that off, and then just mix that in with it all in together. So it was just in there, but it was just regular, like a roll of sausage or whatever, and I just broke that up and
And
drain
did
it.
you, when you put it in with the rest of the stuffing, did you put it in the oven at all?
Yeah, after I had it all mixed up, then I put all that into the oven and baked it.
Okay. So the sausage doesn't overcook or anything and get
No, because you have enough
stuff to keep it
other
moist.
liquid and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
And just like George said, he covered his with foil for the first bit. That's what actually the first quite a bit, and then just take it off towards the end, just like he did his.
Okay. Yeah, I chickened out at the end, but
No, it's really good. You should
yeah,
try
I
it.
know. It sounds good. And the other thing I've heard, they have all on these morning shows over the past 2 weeks, they've had all these, side dishes. They were talking about for leftovers for your stuffing to put it in the waffle iron. So it kind of like makes like a stuffing waffle. Have y'all heard of that?
No.
It sounds kind of neat, like it's almost like a hash brown or something. So I haven't tried that either, though.
I think I might have heard about that on some sitcom that somebody told about doing that. I didn't know that was a real thing.
This
They
is
had,
Nicole.
hey, Nicole.
Deb, how long do you cook the sausage stuffing? Do you do it for 20 minutes or 10 minutes or?
This is Deb. No, I probably had it in the oven for at least 30 minutes with the foil, and then uncovered it. Again, I tend to use a thermometer some when I'm cooking stuff like that, and just bring that up to like maybe 165 or something would be a safe temperature on that. So, but about 30 minutes in the oven, and then take the foil off for maybe 5, or just to let it crispen up a little bit on top, and it's really good. At least we thought it is.
What kind of sausage?
Just like Jimmy Dean, or
Okay.
just a roll of that.
Mm-hmm. And do you slice it, or you just?
No, just crumble it up.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, just crumble that up.
Because that sounds good.
It really is. It's tasty. Oh.
Valencia.
Yes, Valencia.
Okay, so the dressing that I grew up, my mom cooks sounds a lot like Deb's, where we had celery, green bell pepper, and onion, which you would saute with butter in a pan, and then you would use, like you said, the roll or the log sausage and ground that up. With the Pepperidge Farm bread squares, but then she also had minced meat, is what she mixed in with it too. So it was like a combination of savory and sweet. And minced meat was like a mixture of dried fruit and nuts. And I'm not sure if it actually had the alcohol in it or not. I would have to check that out. But it's an old recipe from like the 70s that she found like in a magazine or something.
Okay. And I apologize if we have vegetarians in the room. I'm not one of those. I am definitely a meat person. That's one thing I probably need to come on and I need to find some folks so we can probably do a presentations on some vegetarian dishes. I don't know if we have many people in iBug who are vegetarians. If they'd be interested in something like that, I don't know. It may have to be like a question I might put in the Facebook group or something to poll that because we talk vegetables, but not many, not to be like a main thing. And just a thought. I'm just actually pondering ideas that came up since I don't even know where it came from. We're not even talking about that. Man, discussing meat. All right. Anybody else have any questions or thoughts on dressing or turkey or anything we discussed? I didn't talk about any other sides because any other sides that I cook is usually I cheat. Like if I'm going to open up some greens, I use a can and I may add like some seasonings to it because I don't have a garden. I've never planted any greens or planted any green beans or anything like that. So I don't have. I'm from the city. Didn't spend much time on a farm or in a country where you have to grow everything, or even had a garden. So usually, if I got like some mixed greens, it's right out of a can. I may add my own spices to it. If it's green beans, right out of a can. If it's corn, I think one time a friend of mine that when I was telling them, how I was preparing my meal one time, they told me I should get fresh corn and basically cut the corn off the shuck, buy the frozen corn and take it all off and then either fry it or just boil the corn that way. It seemed like a slow process, a long process because I've never done it. But I may have to bring them on here so they can figure out and maybe give a presentation on how they do other things. Now they eat more vegetables than I do. But I don't know, has anybody heard of that? Did anybody shuck corn or
Yes,
do you do like me? We just
hat.
you have? Okay.
Yes, and like in the summer when corn is in season,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I they called it fried corn. It was more like cream corn in an iron skillet. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, you put some butter in there and you took the corn off the cob and you scrape the cob because there's a lot of liquid in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you cook it in the iron skillet, and then you put the canned evaporated milk in there and thicken it up. So it's kind of like homemade cream corn, but they always call it fried corn. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times I would do a couple containers, so we would have fresh corn for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and everybody always enjoyed that.
Okay.
8:47 p.m. Status bar.
All right. Well, listen, guys, I have run out of stuff for this presentation to discuss. I thank you guys for being here. It's 8:47. We got like about 13 minutes left. We're supposed to go to at least 9 or close to it. But I thank everybody for joining us. And I really, if any of those who have never cooked a turkey before, I hope I have given you enough information that you will get bold enough and go ahead and give it a try. And for those of you who have cooked it before, I thank you for your input on other things that you've contributed to the conversation. Staying with the dressing. If you've never done it before and you like it, hopefully the information that I provided to you, that you're going to go ahead and give it a try, and hopefully we can find out how it all had come out. That's what the main thing this is about. Is this what we call this iBugs life? Is that if we're not talking about how to repair things non-visually, we also talk about how to cook things non-visually, or how to do certain daily routines non-visually. So I hope I've given you enough information, was detailed enough that you're going to go out and conquer the world with this extra information. Um, we with the next topic of his iBook flights, this going to be up for discussion, so this could be to be announced. It probably will not happen, or definitely will not happen no more this month, and this is December, so it'll be January or February. And just stand by for the announcements as to what we will be presenting on this particular platform. If you guys are going to be a part of the Star Trek room tomorrow, I may see you there. I am one of those Trekkies. Well, I forgot what time it was. And then there's a movie on Friday, and I forgot Sunday's announced what she said about Saturday. Oh, Partridge in the Pear Tree. So at this point, I want to thank everybody for coming in. If anybody has any last comments, feel free to come off mic. Other than that, I'm going to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays, and hope I'll see you around on other iBug platforms.
And I enjoyed it tonight. I
Thank you.
usually have conflicts on Thursday, so I was glad to be able to join. But sometimes I do listen to the recorded ones, depending on the topic. But thank you. I enjoyed it.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate your comment. You contributing to the conversation. To you, Sean, and Valencia, and Janice, and Cindy, and Jake. I'm trying to think who, by memory, who all said something. Pat, Deb,